Alright, so this is my senior project. The first thing I'd like to do is start off by showing my specifications. Um, I, I consider this project to be complete when a user can log in, see well, I guess first of all, I'd probably like to specify what my project is. My project is a suggestion program that employers can provide for their employees to provide suggestions on how to make the business better, or basically to have input or a say on what they feel like could improve the company or business. So back to the project specifications, what I would consider this to be done is if a user can log in, see ideas that they've already submitted or ideas that other people have submitted, and also submit that idea to a manager and have that manager be able to accept or reject it. Also, they would obviously need a way to submit it, so that would lead to the core. I expect what I wanted to do in this project was get the base functionality where a user can submit an idea with what's called a dynamic form. So based on each individual client, I will create a form that's specific for them so that it's customizable. So if they want a title, a description, a place to upload files for that particular idea, it would be completely dynamic and configurable for each client. I want a details page so that you can view the details of that item. For instance, what day it was submitted on, the title, the description, who's the manager of it, who was the submitter of it. Also a dashboard, so when a user logs in, it'll be like a main landing page to where they can get a load of information all at once. Another helpful feature that I added was a cost savings calculator. Basically, it says how much they have. We would provide some formulas that would help them figure out how much they would save if they implemented this idea. Also, I would want a grid view to show a list of ideas based off whatever you want, and that's what my hope is, to implement a custom view to where for any particular client we would create a view form that says, hey, give me all the ideas that have been submitted for this year, or give me all the ideas that were submitted by this person. So it would be completely custom. Another hope that I had was to implement an award system. So if a user or an employee submits an idea, then they immediately get 10 award points. And if that idea is accepted and it's implemented, then they get another 10. So it's kind of an incentive for them to get in there and take part in helping their business become better and use our application. A dream that I had would be able to create this custom workflow, and what that means is when a user first starts submitting an idea, then we would want to build a custom workflow for each client to where it forces them to take certain actions, and forces. So for instance, if they submit an idea, then it would immediately go to a manager, and that manager would have a certain amount of days and they would keep getting notifications on telling them, say, hey, you need to accept or reject this idea or whatever. So that would be a custom workflow, and that would be configurable for each client. Oh, I forgot to mention that I expected this project to take 160 hours to complete, figuring on an average of about 10 hours a week. And I came pretty close. This is the timeline for everything, and I had descriptions on what I did. But I think it ended up taking me, 156 hours, and it's complete. It's complete enough to where a client can actually use it. So I'm gonna take you in and show it to you. I just have it running locally right now. So this is the main page where you go and log in. And here's the landing page. This is the dashboard, so you can see that John Doe, he's got all this flood of information. Right as he logs in, he can say, "Oh, I see that Patrick just submitted an idea," or these are the different statuses of that idea, and these are nice call to action buttons here that your eye is just immediately drawn towards, and you can just go and say, oh, I'm ready to submit an idea, so let's get started submitting an idea. So we come in here, and so this is the first page, and this is what's called the dynamic form. So this is configurable for each client. This is just one that I used. And so we continue. So we want to submit a title and what would be the solution when we submit this idea. And of course I have validation. If I try and continue, it says, hey, this shows up red and says you need to fill this out. So this is the level of impact. How will this idea impact my work environment? Will it be small, medium, or company wide? You can also upload files. Don't really need to. Actually, I do want to show that. Let's just upload that. So, and then of course you can delete them. And then, so that's a pretty simple form. That's pretty basic. Obviously, you could create it to have them do whatever they want, like who they would want to pick for a manager or whatever. So then we continue, and then we land on the details page. And so here's all the details of what that idea is. This is the status, and you can change the status if you want. The description, different tags, and who's the primary submitter on it, what date he submitted it on, and this is the attachment field. That attachment would have shown up back here, the one that we submitted, but we ended up deleting it. And of course you can comment. I can leave a comment here, and so there's the comment, and someone else can come in, like Emily Evaluator. She was automatically assigned as the person to evaluate John Doe's ideas. She is his manager. Of course you can reply. John Doe right here, it says he received 10 idea entry points. So right now I just have that set to be 10. So if you submit an idea, you automatically get 10 points. Obviously later on down the road I would like to make that configurable, where based on each client they would go and configure that. this is a cost savings calculator that I built. So you can go and figure this. You go add in all these numbers, and it'll start calculating how much you think this thing will start saving you. So right here it's saving $50, total. But it just depending on all your different configurations, it will tell you all that, and you can leave some notes and stuff and say that, and it'll come up here and say a total of $3 could be saved on implementing this idea. But that would be that cost savings calculator would be very, very useful for someone who is trying to figure out how much this idea could save, and it would help get it pushed through. And I also want to talk a little bit about the UI, the user interface. I tried to use a standard, and you can see that it looks very sleek. And I use a standard, what's called Inspinia. Just to kind of help me out in creating a standardized user interface. And so this is all it is. But that's what helped me maintain the standard, choose my colors and everything. So if we go back to items, so here's where we would come in here and say which view do we want to use. Do we want to view all the ideas so we can see all these ideas? Do we want to see any draft ideas? There's no draft ideas. All the ideas submitted this year. And so you can see that I was able to complete this custom view, which is what I was talking about. This was one of my hopes that I actually was able to complete, and that was doing these custom views. So the SQL to gather this data is stored in the database. So I was able to implement that. Also, I can search. So if I wanted to search an idea based off 10,000 or 10,001, so if I just come in here and said 10,000, then it would only bring up this one idea. So that's a pretty handy feature, and I was glad I was able to do that. That's kind of the overall structure. I kind of want to sign out and sign in as Emily Evaluator. She is John Doe's manager, and she has a little more data here. She's got some extra things that she can see because she's a manager, and so she's got a little bit more stuff that she can see. So if she wants to go and look at this idea that was submitted by John Doe, and because Emily Evaluator is his manager, she has tasks that have been automatically assigned to her. So she needs to complete this task that John Doe has submitted to her. So she needs to come complete this, and she says, yes, I like this. I think we need to adopt it. It's a good idea, but it's already being implemented. Basically, we can put in whatever they want for each client here. If we say, yes, let's adopt this idea. Sounds good. And then she's now completed that task. And another thing that she can do, I don't know if you noticed, I should have mentioned it, but John Doe cannot vote on his ideas if he's the primary submitter, but Emily Evaluator can. She can come in here and say, oh yeah, I really like that idea. She can vote on it. It kind of helps give that that social interaction where multiple employees coming in together and um, can they can all look at the details of an idea and people can vote on it, and of course you can always also downvote it, but you can only vote once on it. So whatever vote you choose, you that's the one that will stay. So I can't just come and keep clicking upvoting. Another thing the Emily evaluator can do is she can complete this cost savings calculator saying, yes, I think that's what this would be good, so I think we should save it. As I mentioned already, we can so if she came in and said, yes, adopt this idea, then she can take it and move it into closed and adopt. She could change that status, and that will change it. So when we come back in here, you can see that status is changed. So now if we come and say, give me all the ideas that are initial review, then it would filter out that closed and adopted idea. Oh, and another thing I'd like to mention is this thing it's totally responsive. It's completely mobile friendly. So that it would work great on a mobile device, or a phone or a tablet. That's about it as far as what the app can do. I can't really think of anything else.